Hey, it's me, MLB. Here is chapter 15 of Gains, and this one is titled, Remember What I Said About Training with an Angry Blonde? Yes, that's normal. It's called DOMS, Delayed Onset Muscle Soreness. It happens when you use a muscle a little beyond what it's used to doing. It's good. It shows you've used that muscle, he said reassuringly. Oh, I see. When will it go away? Because I honestly can't lift my arms, you admitted. He chuckled again, and you knew he wasn't laughing at you. He was just having a little chuckle at the situation, and you smiled along with him. No, honestly, I couldn't even write properly today. Your comment made him chuckle again. When I did a leg workout the first time, I could barely walk afterwards, he reminisced. I was wobbling all over the place. You cracked another smile and let a little giggle escape your lips at the image of him wobbling all over the place, and he looked at you with surprise, and then a giant grin pulled at his cheeks. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to laugh. You apologised quickly, dropping your gaze to the ground. No, I love your giggles. There was a really nice giggle, a manly giggle. You really like manly things, huh? You asked as you looked back up at him. He was looking at you bashfully, and you had to look away for a second. I'm glad I could make you laugh, Yin, he said gently, and it really made your heart flutter. Yeah, it's nice to laugh, you replied. Anyway, about my noodle arms, you offered, wiggling them to bring the conversation back on track. Oh, yeah, they'll be fine by midweek, he said with a grin and thumbs up. If you need any help until then, let me know. I don't get DOMS as much these days. Kind of miss that feeling though. You miss getting DOMS? You asked with a baffled, surprised look on your face. Yeah, I guess I need to up my workouts a little more, but I find it hard to push myself without someone there, he admitted. I like having a workout buddy. You nodded. Well, actually, I do kind of need some help moving stuff around here, you admitted. Would it be okay if you helped me? Of course, he said enthusiastically, rolling up his school shirt sleeves. You tell me what to do and I'll do it. He was super keen to help, so you asked him to shift a few things for you, talking about what would work best for the layout of the room. You really enjoyed Kirishima's company. He was easy to talk to and nice, but there was someone else who kept creeping into your mind too. That angry blonde and his comment about you only training with Kirishima kept circulating in your thoughts, and you felt kinda bad. So after Kirishima left, you made your way down the hall and around to the other side to Bakugo's door and knocked softly. Go away and die, came the response to your knock. Bakugo, it's me. Sorry to disturb you, he said softly from the other side of the door. The door was suddenly swung off its hinges as he reefed it open and stared at you, keeping a hold of the door so he could use it to block your view of his room. What? He grunted. You dropped your gaze to the floor. I want to train with you. He smirked. Tomorrow, after school. 4 p.m. in the training arena. Okay, he replied with a nod. And with that, he closed the door on you, leaving you standing there a little surprised and speechless. You went back to your newly appointed bedroom to rest before dinner. It had been another big day. The next day, after school, you met Bakugo in the training arena like he ordered. He looked ready to kill, and you started second-guessing yourself and all of your choices up until that point in life. If you dodge, you won't die, he growled out with a smirking smile, his palms crackling with small explosions as he stood there watching you. You swallowed thickly and put your bag down gingerly. He did the same, shrugging his school bag off his shoulders and letting it fall to the ground with a thud. Suddenly he lunged at you, and you threw yourself out of the way, stumbling back and falling over in the process. He had you pinned under him in a second, and you struggled to throw him off, copying an explosion to your side in the process. Oh, wait! You gasped, trying to roll away from under him, but he wasn't letting up. Fight me! He yelled, setting another explosion off right beside your head. The sound of the explosion at near point blank next to your ear shut off your hearing on that side, and replaced it with an intense ringing, making you feel a little dizzy as a side effect. Wait! You yelled, fighting a little harder to get him off you. Panic was starting to set in. Disorientated, you managed to roll and grab a handful of his shirt and yank him to the side. He fought to keep you pinned down, but by some miracle you managed to get him off you at least. Use your quirk! He barked at you. I don't know how to do stuff with it! You cried, terrified as you crawled backwards away from him. He got up and threw himself at you again, but you kicked out and connected with his chest, throwing him off a little. Use your quirk! He shouted again. Your hearing was coming back a little, and you shielded your face with your arms as he shot an explosion at you, severe heat shooting through your arms. Ow! You shouted, Get angry, he bellowed. Use your damn quirk! Leave me alone, you shouted, starting to get a little angry now, but still more scared at that point. You're not ready for me, he shouted, throwing another explosion. You stumbled to your feet and glared at him. I told you! Leave me alone! You shouted, your bottom lip quivering. I'm not leaving you alone till you fight me, he growled with his sneering smirk. This angered you. Why did no one respect your wishes? You were starting to get a bit pissed. You knew that if you just got close enough you could burn his shirt at least, if you grabbed it, so that became your mission. Dodging another explosion from him, you jumped at him and grabbed for his shirt, but he was too quick. Time and time again you lunged at him. Finally he jumped at you and you took the opportunity to grab his shirt and activate your quirk. Heat ripped into the fabric of his school shirt and smoke poured out from where you had clutched a good amount of it into your palm. I said, leave me alone, you shouted, and then spun and elbowed him once his body was behind you. You got him right in the solar plexus and he stumbled backwards. Another explosion hit you in the back and you stumbled forwards, but you had had enough at that point and finally burst into tears. Enough! You shouted, turning to glare at him. This isn't training! This is an excuse for you to bully me! You wobbled out. I'm done with this! I'm done with you! And with that you turned to leave, but he grabbed you by the wrist and held you still with his head down. Oh, I think Bakugo pushed a little bit too hard in that one. Stay tuned for chapter 16. We'll find out what happens then. See you tomorrow.